Kindergarten, and welcome to another math lesson. We finished up our shape module before we went for holiday break, and today we're starting a brand new math module, and it's all about measurement. And when I say the word measurement, that means we're finding the size of something. So we might be finding the height, the length, or the weight. Today, we're going to focus on the height. So we're going to be learning some vocabulary words that we're going to use a lot, and then we're going to dive in to comparing different heights. So here we go. Today's math thinking job is I can compare height using taller than and shorter than. So you're going to hear the word compare. Compare means we are putting two things next to each other and we're deciding, are they the same? And today, height is something longer than, is something shorter than. So we're comparing different objects' height. It means when top to bottom. To compare different objects' height, we're going to use these two phrases, shorter than, taller than. If I take my remote and my phone and I stand them up straight, making sure the ends are straight, I would say my remote is shorter than my phone, and my phone is taller than my remote. We'll learn more about why something's taller than and shorter than, but know when you say shorter than, it's smaller, and taller than is bigger. So I needed help comparing my height with someone else. And knowing we're all learning on the computer, I called up my friend, Miss Norwood, who happens to be a kindergarten teacher. She might be your kindergarten teacher. And she said that she could help me compare our height. So I want you to look at me and look at Ms. Norwood. And your teacher's going to pause the video and talk about who is shorter and who is taller. All right, hold that thought and lock it in, and you can see if you're right. So we're going to start with me. Now, I'm looking at the top of my head and the top of Miss Norwood's head, and our feet are planted on the ground, and these are our endpoints. We'll talk about more endpoints in a little bit. Let's find out who is shorter. So we would say, I am shorter than Miss Norwood. If I look at the top of my head, there's a lot of space going up, and Miss Norwood's head is still there. So that means Miss Norwood is taller than me. I am shorter than Miss Norwood. Miss Norwood is taller than me. Well, how about I get on top of a chair? Am I taller than Miss Norwood? Myself? Am I taller than Miss Norwood? Your teacher's going to pause the video and talk about, am I taller than Miss Norwood? You probably said, yes, of course, Miss Barkley-Anderson, you are taller than Miss Norwood. You're standing on a chair. Let's take the chair away. If we take the chair away, am I taller than Miss Norwood now? No. Miss Norwood is still taller than me. We call these endpoints. Endpoints mean that we would make these even to measure the height correctly. Sometimes you're going to see objects not at the endpoints. So you need to make sure you look very closely and see where your endpoints would be and how much space would be in between. If I'm just looking at me up here and Miss Norwood down here, I can tell that Miss Norwood is still taller than me. Let's talk about these two sunflowers. Your teacher's going to pause the video and talk about the height of these flowers. I'm sure you talked about how these flowers were different than myself and Miss Norwood. Did you notice there was not one taller than or shorter than? You were right. If I put my endpoint down to measure up to make sure that they're in line with each other to help me compare the height, I notice that they're exactly the same height. I can put an endpoint down here, and I can also draw a line at the top where my height would be. This also is a great tool to help you know if something's the same height, something's taller than, or something's shorter than. These flowers are the same height. Height of some objects. Here we see two trees. I notice the endpoints are not the same. So we can look at the space to see what is shorter than and taller than. So looking at these two trees, which tree is shorter? Which tree is shorter? Your teacher is going to pause the video and decide which tree is shorter. You probably said this one. This tree is shorter. I can see that there's tons of space from here as this tree is still going up. So even if we wiggled this tree up and made the endpoints the same, there would still be a lot more tree on this, which would make this tree taller than this tree. So this tree is shorter than this tree. All right, let's look at these two different colored giraffes. Your teacher's going to pause the video and you are going to find the giraffe that is taller. Which giraffe is taller? Let's put our endpoints, and we notice our endpoints are not the same. So even if we scooted this giraffe down, we can still see that the purple giraffe is taller than the yellow giraffe. The purple giraffe is taller than the orange giraffe. Let's take a look at these two rectangles. We put our endpoints. So let's see. Which rectangle is shorter? Which rectangle is shorter? Your teacher's going to pause the video and you guys are going to talk about which rectangle is shorter. Looking at these endpoints, there's a lot of space, but if we nudged that down, we would still see that the pink rectangle is shorter than the green. Throw another rectangle in. In a moment, your teacher is going to pause the video and you are going to compare the yellow rectangle to the pink and the green rectangle. So you're going to decide, is the yellow shorter than or taller than? You're going to use the sentence frame, the yellow rectangle is blank to the pink and green rectangle. These rectangles are lined up all on the same endpoint. So we can see that the green is tall, pink is taller than the yellow. So that means the yellow rectangle is shorter than the pink and green rectangle. Remember, you can find the height by the space in between. The green rectangle is taller than the yellow rectangle, as I see the yellow rectangle stays right here and there's space to the top of the green rectangle. Today in Seesaw, you are going to be continuing this work by looking at objects and comparing if they're taller or shorter. Until next time, bye Kipsters.